There it is. This is where it starts to get kind of bad. Some sort of a silicone putty. Oh, man, what is that? Oh, yes. Oh, jackpot, baby. The use of tin foil is really what makes it a good quality repair. Look at how thick that is. Look at that, dude. Dude.
Rust is to a minimal.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to my GTR restoration. So the last video you guys would have seen, we built ourselves a pretty cool tool. Obviously the car is in the air and it looks like it's floating. Well, we built ourselves a rotisserie. Came out really awesome. Now before we dive in, I guess really deep, obviously we're pretty deep already. If you guys haven't been keeping up to date with the content, go ahead and check it out because, well, we've done quite a bit. Every single nut and bolt has been stripped off, as you can maybe tell. We're down to a bare shell. So before I really tear this thing down, we're going to be replacing quarter panels, fixing every single bit of rust on this car. I really want to take you guys around and show you what we're working with and pretty much where I'm starting from. Plus, once the car is done, it'll be really cool to have a lot of footage considering, you know, the condition of the car, of the progress. So I figured I'll take you guys along and let's go ahead and take a spin around this car. I'm actually legitimately going to spin around so you guys can see, put this rotisserie to use. But before we do that, let's walk around as it sits, and I'll kind of take you guys along for the journey and explain what the issues are and kind of how we plan to go around them. So if you guys are not aware of the story of this car, definitely go ahead and maybe catch up because it is a story for sure. But I am going to be saving this chassis. I know some say it's not possible, some say it's not worth saving. I beg to differ. That may sound stupid to some of you guys out there, and it probably will involve more work than some of you may think it's worth, but with the rising price of these cars going up in value, I really don't see myself losing out in any way, shape, or form on this build. And you know, honestly, this car, I believe it when I say it, this thing will be a six-figure car when I'm all said and done. So yeah, stick around for the journey, man, because it's gonna be cool, and we're doing a lot of work. So first things first, let's kind of start up front, because up front is where we've already done quite a lot of work. And like I said, if you guys haven't not been keeping up to date with the content, definitely go ahead and check it out. So fully shaved, reworked, re-panel beaded, OEM wheel tubs. They look great. I mean, they look so good. Deleted all the holes, fully shaved. I mean, this thing, in my opinion, looks incredibly nice. So same thing, I mean, look at how good. I mean, granted, it's very dusty. You guys can kind of see how it's been sitting here painted for a good, I don't know, 4 months, 5 months. But yeah, there it is. It looks really good. If you guys want to check it out, we got a full, you know, custom bead roll battery tray panel because we're not going to be rocking the battery there anymore. We kind of redid that hole for the intercooler pipe. I mean, there's a lot of custom touches. Just go ahead and check it out if you'd like. But that's the engine bay kind of done, which also kind of sucks because I really wish I knew I was gonna fully restore this car before I did any of this, because I probably would have gone about how I'm gonna go about things a little bit differently. But we'll get back into that in a bit. Fully rhino lined underwells and stuff like that, so it looks really good. Now you guys can kind of see I'm gonna be really upfront and honest with you guys on this build. I'm gonna be fully transparent because I hate when people try and hide shit, and that's just not me. So I'm not 100% happy with how everything looks down here. So I'm gonna probably go ahead and grind this back down, clean it all up really good. Obviously be careful for the the engine bay itself, but I'm gonna make this look absolutely perfect. At the moment, not 100% happy with it. So same goes for any other spots that I'm not 100%, guys. I'll take you on the journey. We're gonna make this thing perfect. If I'm doing all this, I gotta do it right. I gotta be happy with it at the end of the day. So that's the engine bay. Engine bay is great. A lot more detail in the content, but for now we're moving on. So these rockers will also get a better look with the car on the side, but I've actually started to remake these, and you know, I'm not done by any means, but I think it's going pretty dang well. I'm obviously in kind of like the cleanup stage, but I'm just not 100% happy with it either. So I'm gonna try and see if I can source some OEM rockers. I do believe I have a lead on some. It's just a matter of kind of paying for them. So we'll try and get that knocked out. That way we can get both sides all taken apart and then put some new ones on that should take care of both sides. So, and then yeah, up here is pretty good. I'm sure there's a little bit of rust under here. Basically from this line pretty much, you know, from around here, we'll figure out how to blend and do it all right, because obviously this is all painted. We're gonna get new nuts and everything like that, so don't worry, this will all come apart and get cleaned. And all this will probably start to get repainted just because the glass is coming out and we're doing a full paint job. If you guys don't know, my shop, I've got a full paint booth there. Love to lay some paint. So we're gonna go ahead and do all the work ourselves. If any of you guys are wondering, we're doing everything ourselves. So glass is coming out, I gotta pull that still, clean it all up, see if we got any surprises laying under there. But moving along, all this is okay. Inside, I did a lot of reinforcements up in this area, just in case I want to jack up the car. And I'll be honest guys, this car is not going to be that low, so I'm now thinking back, like I'll never really need to jack the car up, because I actually made my own new jack point. You guys can see it's starting to build some surface rust, just because it's been sitting for so long. So, and I'm probably just going to go ahead and scrap that idea maybe, I don't know, we'll see, and just weld in the new OEM stuff. So that's that. Up in here, kind of a mess. So I got to rework this whole inner pocket. Everything's going to be taken out by the spot welds. Same thing on that side. You guys might be able to tell. And actually, if you see down there at the lower rocker, it's all rotted away as well. So obviously, this is part of the quarter panel. So you guys can see, I've started, because the quarter panel actually ties into the roof, and I'm not entirely too sure I want to mess with that just yet, so I've cut it a little bit lower, that way I can decide what I want to do with the rest. So as you can see, I've started to remove those spot welds. I will be releasing a video on this, so stay tuned, but today we're just kind of going over. I want to show you guys what I'm working with and get really in depth. Considering we have the rotisserie now, I can really show you guys the details. So once we flip it over especially. Got the quarter glass out, that was a pain. I will show you guys how to do the passenger side. Up here, as you guys can maybe tell, they actually filled a lot of this with body filler, that yellow stuff. So ground it all back down. It looks in okay shape. Hopefully up here is the same and pretty decent. Hopefully I won't have to mess too much with the roof. So as you can see, I kind of got my spot welds marked out. That's basically what I'm gonna try and pull this panel off from. Moving down, you guys can see this rear parcel shelf / trunk panel garnish, not doing well. So that's all gonna have to get it cut out, replaced. Same thing up in here with this quarter panel. There's a straight up hole. I don't know if you guys can tell that well, but that's a huge hole. Up in here in the gas door, I realized that the quarter panel doesn't actually come with a new gas door insert, so either I have to figure out if there's a replacement part number for that, or I have to go ahead and hand make this panel, which will be tough because a lot of this is already, I mean, you can see it's cracking with the body filler. I mean, it's just not great. So obviously not great. So the quarter panel is actually held in by 4 tabs. You might be able to tell there's a tab here. It's kind of covered up with filler. There's one there you can see. There's one right here, and then there's one right there. There's 4 spot welds, and that's it. It just pops off from the gas door. So yeah. Also, moving down here, I kind of missed this whole area. So I already cut off this portion because it was just that bad. So this part does come with the new quarter panel. This inner stuff, I will have to go ahead and recreate that all myself. I still have a lot of work to do in chopping some stuff out. But just working before I made the rotisserie, it just really sucked to work on, just on your back. So took a pause, waited till I had the rotisserie, so now we can really go ahead and put some solid quality work in and be much more comfortable. So everything, it's gonna be a lot of work, guys. It really will, but we gotta do it. So piece by piece, probably this whole area will have to get cut, remade, just because of the surface rust in here. I know some of you guys saying acid dip the car, and that's kind of the reason why I'm a little upset I did the engine bay already, because I probably would have just gone that route and acid dipped it. However, I'm not even too sure of any spots in San Antonio that do it. But yeah, that's kind of one reason why I'm a little bit torn about already having the engine bay done. I wish there was a way that they could just only dip, like, the front, like up to here to the firewall, but I don't think that's possible. I mean, anything's possible, but so yeah, that's all cut out. Got to remake all of that. So that's clear. Now on the outside, obviously quarter panels filled with Bondo. No surprise there. You guys can see it almost looks like they use a grout, like flooring grout. You guys can kind of tell. It gets pretty thick in some spots. So that's that. Completely the wrong shape. I mean, this is all wrong. This whole back portion of the quarter panel, and even how just wavy it all was up in the arch. And by the way, actually, I'll show you once we spin it over, but dang, the arches on the inside are so bad. So I actually just now was starting to kind of figure out how it comes off in the rear. So this is a little bit in depth because you have to remove this panel and then kind of pry it away or remove it completely, and then get to the actual quarter panel, which is kind of sandwiched between two sheets of metal. So that's that. So I'm just kind of working on that, but yeah, for the most part, you know, we definitely got our fair share of surface rust here and there, as you guys can see. But I mean, I'm ready to tackle it. Got to remove all the sound deadener, but let's go ahead and flip this car on its side. I'll really be able to show you guys the condition of this car. Look, this is literally just a sorry, the sound's sketchy now, you know what I mean? Like, everything falling in the car, it's kind of sketchy, but... This is the first time I've had it actually flipped over on this side as well. There it is. Just doing a safety check, you know what I mean? It all looks good, like everything looks good. Pretty happy with it. I do have some additions that will be coming, so definitely stay tuned for those. But it'll just basically allow me to move it around and be stable, you know, put it on the wheels, so. All right, let's take a look at this thing. So, starting right up front, you guys can see these came out pretty good, but like I said, I'm not 100% on them. I really would like to get them perfect. So we will work on that a little bit. It's just Rhino liner, we can always go ahead and redo it, so that's not a problem. Up front, lower radiator support looks pretty good. As you can see, not much rust, if any. We will be obviously painting all underneath here. Now, coming up here, we're looking good. The frame rails the frame rail, both of them slightly dented, you guys can see. So I'm gonna try and get a little dent puller and, you know, slide hammer that out, get it nice and flush, looking brand new again. Inside, honestly, it all feels pretty dang nice. There's no, I don't feel any corrosion. It's just like kind of almost looks like salt. So, or actually probably could be sanding dust. Just water, wet sanding. Yeah, but either way, I would like to go ahead and make sure everything is all cleaned up in here. If that involves removing the frame rails completely, cleaning them up and reinstalling them, I will do that. So I'm not too worried about it. Like I said, I'm committed, man. I'm committed to getting this car 100% perfect. So you guys can kind of see here, yes, it's starting to look really bad now just because the welds are starting to oxidize and rust. So we will be redoing this because I'm just not happy. You know, my whole plan was to be able to jack up from here, and I did remake the pinch weld to an extent. However, it's just not where I want it to be, and I'm super picky with this kind of stuff. So the fact that we pretty much, I think, have rockers available means that I'm just gonna go ahead, I think, and just go that route. So yeah, that's that. We'll replace all that. You guys can see up in here though, same thing. Luckily the new rocker should repair all that. Up in here, we're gonna have to do all this. I mean, unless it comes back from sandblast or whatever I decide to do, and that looks okay, it's just surface, but it does look like I do have a little bit of corrosion for sure. You know, this is all not too bad. This is where the roll cage was. They had the plates there, so there's a bunch of silicone, at least kind of prevented rust, right? Up in here, same thing. You guys can kind of see in here a little bit of surface rust. So again, that's kind of up in this pocket, so I'll be able to get in there pretty good, or maybe the sandblaster will be able to get in there pretty good. The rest of the frame rails look all pretty decent. A little bit of rust in between the seams here. Again, we'll see kind of how bad that actually is. But all in all, in the center portion, the frame rail is not that bad. Really, it's just that it gets a little bit rough in the back. and the rockers here. So as you can see, this side rocker, I haven't touched any of it. This is where it starts to get kind of bad. So this is pretty much what the driver's side looked like before I chopped it out. I just got impatient. So yeah, you guys can see this is all, some of it will be the quarter panel skin, just as outer pretty much, but all this inner work in here, you guys can even see like they just filled it with silicone or some sort of putty on the inside. Now, if I show you up here, again, like, I mean, look at this, all this up in here, you're gonna have to get cut out, redone, remade. So if you guys look up in here, I mean, this is just like some sort of a silicone putty that they just lined the whole wheel arch with. You guys can see, I mean, this is all just body filler up here. It's all just chipping away. Okay, they probably use some pretty gritty sandpaper because it's on there decent, but dude, it's it's pretty bad. I mean, look at this. I mean, come on, man. What is that? That's just a big glob of something. Hope you guys can even see. That's just a big glob. I mean, what is this line right here? What is that? Obviously, you guys saw. But another plate for the roll cage, which I took out. I'm not gonna run it. Obviously, it kind of sucks. All up in here, got some rust building between the seams. Got some damage here. Unfortunately, we will have to do a little bit of framework. Again, guys, to some of you this may sound like a lost cause, and I get that, but you have to understand, I mean, there's cars way worse than this that actually get restored and are brand new in the end. It's all about knowing how to do the repairs correctly with the right tools and the right materials and stuff like that. So I'm gonna do all the absorbing of learning that I can do to gain knowledge as far as this serious major repair work. But I'm like I said, guys, we're committed. We're doing it right. You know, this thing's gonna be absolutely mint when we're done. So a little tiny hole down here in the trunk as far as that goes, and then there's a tiny bit taken out back here, so we will have to address that or just fill up that hole in general. It is a drain plug hole, I do believe, but I don't plan to have any water falling in this car, to be honest. So again, like I said, some framework will do that. Up on this side, you guys can kind of see we got a little bit of corrosion going down up here. Obviously up on this parcel shelf or inner, lower, I don't know what you want to call all these panels, but you know, obviously we got issues here and there. So all this cleaned up, repaired, replaced, whatever we got to do. But I just figured, like I said, want to show you guys what we're looking at. This kind of sucks right here between these two seams. Yeah, that sucks. So again, am I excited to do this? Yes and no. No, because it's pretty serious and it's going to take a lot of time. Yes, because I'm going to be able to get like a brand new GTR out of it, but dang. You know? Dang. Also, I want to show you guys up front here. This is the passenger side front of the rocker. So this is the front of the car. This is the OEM jack point. You can see completely destroyed. And I want to see, I mean, what is this? This is like some putty. Hang on a sec. Oh. Oh. Oh, yes. Oh. Jackpot, baby. Oh, this is ooh, this is quality. Oh, is that, oh, it's someone's glove. It's the thumb of somebody's glove. Right? Must have got stuck in there, for sure. Dang. Oh, wait, hang on. I really like the tin foil use. The use of tin foil is really what makes it a good quality repair. I do like that. Kudos. I commend you, sir. Whoever did this, or ma'am. Oh! Dang, they covered up the side skirt mounting point, man. How was I supposed to bolt my side skirt on? That explains why it was coming off. I mean, this is not a car anymore down here. This is no longer a car. So I do like the foil. I love that. So yeah, there's that. It is bad, trust me. Oh, I also want to show you this rocker in general. Look at all the holes. So that's obviously got to get, I mean, that's a no-brainer that one's got to get replaced, obviously, considering just this damage up here. So, yep, good times, man, good times. If you guys want to buy some merch, link below. Look, you can see their little tiny bottle jack marks. Dun, 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 dun. Well, they ruined my frame rail. Don't jack up from your frame, well, okay, I lied. You can jack up from your frame rail, just use like a hockey puck, or make sure you have a nice wide base, because if you have a tiny bottle jack like this, you know, it may do okay the first few times, but eventually it's gonna crush in like this, and no one wants that, man. No one wants that. Please jack up your car correctly. Ideally from the subframes, diff in the back, not your pinch welds. Don't jack up, don't even look at those. Frame rails if done properly. Save those JDM cars, man. Save the classics, okay? Grab your merch, by the way. Save the classics. Don't jack up in the wrong spot. Can't forget this, because I thought this was just hilarious. This is where the rear plate mounts, you guys can see it. It just completely fell off. The whole thing just rusted off. Completely. So that's gone. Now, I did find out that apparently they do not make these rear license plate holders anymore, so I will have to go ahead and replace and repair. All right. Really quick, same thing on this quarter panel on the inside, guys. I mean, look at this. This is, I mean, what is that? Come on. And then same, I mean, look at how thick that is. Look at that, dude. Dude. I mean, come on. Come on. I really want to, like, get these quarter panels off and, like, put them on the wall as just, like, a memorabilia of, like, how rough this situation was. You know what I mean? It's not great. Will it take a lot of work? Hell yeah, it'll take a lot of work. What's going on here? I just want to rip. These are actually OEM Type M spats, which is surprising that they are OEM. Don't want to break it. If anyone needs OEM Type M R32 spats, let me know. All in all, I think we can both come to a conclusion and say that this GTR is a good example for a GTR, and rust is definitely to a minimal.
Now, all in all, this is a good foundation for a GTR. Rust is to a minimal.
If you guys have any more questions on the restoration or how I'm gonna do this, that, the other, definitely drop a comment down below. I'll do my best to get back to you, but yeah. And also, if anyone has leads out there for quarter panels, OEM, a brand new quarter panels, please let me know. There's such a pain to get a hold of right now, and with the prices, just, if you guys bought them for 300 bucks a few years ago, do your boy a solid and hook them up. I'll pay 500. I'll give you a couple extra bucks. No, but for real, if someone could help me out, I would appreciate it. All right, guys, that is gonna conclude today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed. I figured I'd just kind of shed some light on the whole condition of the car, just because, well, yeah, like I said, it's gonna be really cool to kind of see where we started and where we end up. So drop a like, drop a comment if you guys did enjoy. I'm actually really close on getting this quarter panel off in the rear. It is much more thorough than I didn't think it was gonna be easy, but dang, it is super in depth. So the video on that should be up next week. I'm really now trying to dedicate myself to at least one video a week. I would love to get that number higher, but for now, that's kind of what I'm able to do. But yeah, sound deadener obviously all has to come out. But yeah, I think that's it, man. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to drop them below. I'll be happy to get back to you. But yeah, as far as the merch goes, I appreciate you guys ordering and supporting. We're probably like 45, 50 shirts sold out of my 400 goal. So if you guys are able to go ahead and grab a shirt, that would be super cool. Everything obviously going straight into the build, man, because I need rockers, I need quarters, and I need a lot of other parts. As you guys might be able to tell, there's a lot that's going to go into this car, especially since we're doing a full-out, like, very proper restoration. A lot of stuff's getting replaced and stuff like that. So yeah, man, hopefully you guys enjoyed. I know that this video turned out way longer than I expected it, but that's just kind of how it goes. I'll see you guys next week. Take care, man. Be blessed.
Thank you.